welcome to Doors and Corners, a sci-fi and fantasy film commentary podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Zach. And every Friday we sit down and watch a science fiction or fantasy film and give our 2 cents on its quality, production, story, and trivia.
We watch the film together, but without sounds or visuals provided to avoid copyright issues. But if you do have access, we encourage you to join us and follow along.
Here, we like to keep things casual, and there may be discussions of spoilers or sensitive materials or language. But we do try and keep things clean and family-friendly. Ultimately, the goal of this podcast is to create the experience of us all sitting down and watching this movie together.
So get ready to hit that play button, because we're about to get started.
Damn Doors and Corners, that's where they get you.
Welcome back to Doors and Corners. I'm Brian.
I'm Zach.
And
what are we watching, Brian?
We are wrapping up the Christopher Reeves Superman saga with it's like this, the quest for peace. Superman 4, the quest for peace.
The quest for piss?
For peace. Peace.
The quest for piss?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we found.
I know. It's just, we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, and we'll be talking about it many times. This movie makes me quite sad. You're more on the gleeful, I feel like, just like, this is a bad movie, let's talk about it. And I'm like, it's a bad movie. It makes me sad to talk about why it's so bad. But
it is a tragic story.
This is a bad movie.
Oh my God.
This movie makes Superman 3 genuinely seem like a solid movie, like, in comparison, I think. And Superman 3 is not a good movie either. But it's like, the drop-off was real.
This movie, if you're going just straight for production and merit of story and as a film, I believe this is objectively the worst mainstream superhero movie ever made. This movie is worse than Batman and Robin. This movie is worse than, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
Okay.
Like, this is the worst.
The movies I would think it might compare to, I feel, because I haven't actually seen. So, I'm thinking of, the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry. I actually never saw that.
I forgot about Catwoman.
I never saw it. I've heard that it's that bad, but I can't, I can't claim that because I never actually saw it. I'm trying to think of... No, I agree.
Okay, you know what? Maybe because I blocked it from my memory. This might... No, I still think this is worse than Catwoman, because at least Catwoman had some good visual merit in places.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, we talked about this both in Superman 2 and Superman 3, which both are highly flawed movies. Yeah. You can still enjoy them. You can still, even if you don't love them, and there's nothing wrong with that, because they definitely have their issues. But you can still, you can enjoy Christopher Reeve's performance, you can enjoy a lot of the moments within it. I'm trying to think of a single moment in this film that I loved. And there is quite literally, I think, 1 or 2 moments where Christopher Reeve is talking where I'm just like, I liked that. I liked that little bit of delivery there. And that's it. That's the best I can say. And that pains me. Because I really, I've talked about this many times. Christopher Reeve's portrayal of Superman was such a massive influence. This is it's like watching somebody that you really look up to just do something just do something catastrophically embarrassing. Even though a lot of this was not his fault, we'll get into that, it's still him. He at the end of the day, the movie still exists and he's still in it, and his name is attached to a lot of the decisions behind this movie.
Production.
And I want to talk about canon films and the behind the scenes stuff and all of the bad deal that was made and kind of the good faith negotiation that was done when the rights were sold, and then what ended up happening with the financial issues, and then there's a lot there that I think we should get into at least briefly, but I just feel bad for Christopher Reeves. I know that he actually went through a severe bout of depression. I'm pretty sure he lost a marriage after this movie, and didn't work for quite a while. This movie really affected him personally, and it took him a couple years to bounce back. And and of course, less than 10 years later, he was paralyzed, and it is a sad story, and it's But at the same time, we're here to honestly watch this film and talk about it. And I was telling Zach before we started recording that this movie feels like if it wasn't Christopher Reeves playing Superman, you could convince me. You could say like, well, no, this is actually like a college project. Like this is like a film, like a fan film that some film students made that were like doing like their take on like a Superman movie for like, and they had like a $10,000 budget, just to go like shoot this like in the unused part of campus. I would believe you because it's that rough. The editing is horrible. It's missing massive parts of the story. The special effects barely deserve to be called that. The fight choreography is laughable, even for the era that it came from. It's just, yeah. You talk for a minute.
This movie, I don't have the same history with this movie as Brian. I grew up kind of seeing the old Superman movies, like the posters at the video store, and I always saw this one with him coming in at the top of a missile, and I thought it looked really stupid. I thought it was a really lame poster.
Flying up, holding the warhead. That one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it looked dumb. Even as a young man, I thought it looked like a penis. But when I started hearing more about this, and my parents shielded me from this movie, essentially. They didn't want to watch it. They didn't want it on. They thought the politics of it were stupid. I remember talking to my dad about this, because I had already formed my own opinions about it after I'd seen it. But several years later, I'm talking to my dad about it, and he's just like, the entire thing is based on this utterly moronic notion that peace comes through taking away the tools of war, which that just means that the fighting gets bloodier, and like that these people would be celebrating him for coming out and declaring to them, I am going to make an executive decision for all of you countries. Like, it's just this fascinatingly naive script, and it's just nothing in the world could have saved this movie from its very conception. It was doomed from the moment they decided to do a Superman 4. But them going this bad, oof. The special effects thing, though, that's the one that gets me, because they were betrayed with the special effects. They only had a month to do the special effects for this movie.
Yeah, and it shows.
Like, a month. That's insane.
This movie, I mean, it infamously, we'll point it out, I'm sure, as we watch this, infamously uses the exact same shot of him flying towards the camera multiple times.
At least 4.
Yeah, the green screen work at times for the background, like you can see, like they literally have like a blue halo around them, like the line, the cutout line from the green. The comp is so bad. It's like it's really rough. I mean, the special effects in the original Star Trek television show in the 60s look miles better than this movie that was made 20 years later. And I love Star Trek so much, but the special effects are rough. Would you disagree that?
Oh, no, I completely agree with you. Like, this movie, the special effects in it are actually like a joke in certain areas of the special effects community.
Yeah. Has Corridor Crew ever done one on this movie?
I believe they did.
I need to look for that.
I'm not 100% positive. I know that they've referenced it before.
Yeah, it is laughable. It's like you almost, and that's where this is where I feel bad, because it's genuinely as bad as we're saying. And anybody who, I suspect we're going to get people who listen to this that haven't seen this movie, and I actually don't blame you. This is not a movie that, like, again, infamously Batman and Robin, bad movie. I can enjoy that
I
movie.
would tell people to see that.
Yeah, that's a movie that, like, you know what, sit down, grab your favorite beverage and snack, and just
Preferably
enjoy.
alcoholic.
Yeah, just enjoy how just cheesy and stupid this movie is. But there's actually some merit to the entertainment value going on in there. I mean, it's just this movie doesn't have that. And there's plenty of rough movies and bad movies that you can enjoy certain elements of, and this unfortunately just doesn't. Even Christopher Reeve struggles so much. There's, you know, the bits of humor, you know, and we'll get to it, like where he's doing the, you know, having to be Superman and Clark at the same time, like for the double date dinner scene, and it's like, you know, you want that to work, you want that to be funny, and it just ends up, it just doesn't. And
You know what? Corridor Crew did do Superman 4
okay,
because of that scene, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But essentially, there is a visual effect in here that is done extremely well because it took all of them a moment to figure out how it was done.
okay,
So,
yeah,
we'll go ahead and
yeah. Well, why don't you hit us with the sweet details of this film, and then we'll get into it.
oh my gosh, he is holding the warhead. Look at that.
Yeah, you ripped the warhead off the ICBM.
Yeah. Okay, this is Superman the Fourth, The Quest for Peace. Currently holding an IMDb rating of 3.7 out of 10. 56,000 votes. From 1987. It is PG. It is 1 hour and 30 minutes long. That's rounded up by 15 seconds. Starring Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Margot Kidder, as well as appearances by Jackie Cooper, Mark McClure, John Cryer, and Mark Pillow. And Muriel Hemingway. Forgot about Muriel Hemingway there. Oh boy.
Who's the Chippendale
did you know
guy?
Jim Broadbent is in this?
Was that the which name you just said is Nuclear Man? Who's
Mark Pillow.
that's Mark? Yeah, 'cause right. This was his only, like, he was a Chippendale guy, and just like basically he was
He was
hired
a
because
Chippendale
he was in shape and, you know, had a jaw.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
He looked good in the suit. That's
he-
pretty much it.
Yeah, he's a Chippendale guy. And the dude, oh my gosh. I'll get there. I'll talk about it then.
Okay.
Because, damn. All right, I'm ready.
You're ready. All right.
I'm ready.
A lot of this movie is just going to be us sighing, so I apologize. I do want to, as we go through this, get into some of the behind the scenes, what was going on, and specifically where there's massive plot parts that were just cut. But for now, let's just bask in the credits of this film, because we are going to hit that play button in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, well, bask. That's what we're
Bask.
going to do. The first piece of trivia that Amazon Prime offers on this thing is that Christopher Reeve publicly regretted his involvement in this film and wrote in his memoir, Superman 4 was a complete and utter mistake.
Yep. So, while we're doing this quickly, the briefest of summary is that, you know, after Superman 3, the previous producers wanted to move on because it was a financial disappointment. You know, dropped off quite heavily from Superman 2 financially. And so they're looking to get rid of it. And Canon Pictures was looking for legitimacy. They were basically, you know, making a bunch of schlock. They were, you know, doing a lot of your Chuck Norris stuff and Jean-Claude Van Damme stuff from the late 70s, early 80s was them going into theaters and they actually were, you know, some successful cult classics in there, but for the most part, forgettable
You're leaving
stuff.
out a key detail of that, Brian.
All right.
That those were their good movies.
Well, that's that's what people think of them. That's what they're known for. They were making like 20 plus movies a year, even more than that.
20 to 40 movies a year.
Yeah. Most of their movies were horrible and forgettable, but like the best they could claim was a few cult classic like action films from that era, and that's about it. But you know, they wanted this to be their big, and so it was the IP was considered worthless without Christopher Reeve at the time. It's like, if you don't get Christopher Reeve, who cares if you have the Superman rights? And so Superman, Christopher Reeve was brought on, but with the, he wanted to be more involved, right? He wanted to have more say. And so it was, I think it was director like sign off and final edit and a few things like that. And I don't know off the top of my head exactly if that was like contractual or more of a handshake type thing. I know that Christopher Reeve got a lot of, but then obviously, towards the production, there were a lot of changes made that I'm sure Christopher Reeve didn't sign off on, but he didn't have a choice for. But basically, this movie was kind of Christopher Reeve agreed to it, thinking it was going to be one thing, and it was not that thing when it was done.
Yes and no. So here are a lot of the problems with the thing, okay? So when he signed on, he was promised that he would get a lot of creative influence, right? I even forgot to list the director. Oh my goodness. Sidney Furie was the guy's name.
Like a horror guy, right?
And he's still... I'm sorry?
Isn't he a horror guy? Like making horror films or something?
To an extent, yeah. He had all kinds of stuff. Lots of horror movies and things. They tried to get Ron Howard.
Yeah, I know
they actually got Wes Craven for a little while, and then he was like, "Nah." He had too many creative control issues with Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, they had a meeting, right? And they pretty much pretty quickly realized this isn't going to work.
Yeah, the main issue that they ran into with this is that Canon had a major financial.
Well, they had basically
problem.
been cheating their own finances for years, right? Just
but it came back to bite them just as this movie was starting, and like 2 months before production was set to begin, they cut the budget in half.
Yeah,
like everything was doomed. It was already doomed, but everything was kind of doomed from that moment on.
Yeah,
and
they ultimately didn't care about the film other than trying to clear some debt. Right, just like give
this was going to be their debt clear. They owed like $20 million.
Yeah, that astronaut would be so pulverized. By the way,
so pulverized. Nothing about space in this movie makes sense.
No,
nothing.
Yeah, because that astronaut would have been pink mist if a piece of space.
For those of you who don't know, this
side.
opens with a Russian space station, and we have the first appearance of the Superman fly. A Russian space station being hit by a piece of space debris. And this is supposed to be him being like, yes, I like Russians. And Superman comes and just flies out to help him out.
Yep, the exact same shot there.
Exact same shot. We're already up to 2 of the exact same flying shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The music does try in this movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, the music tries.
John Williams didn't actually come and record any new material for this film, right? It was rearrangements and some new stuff by somebody else.
That is correct. And you have Cape moving in space. You have words able to carry in space. That's I'm not going to be too mad about that, I guess.
I mean, yeah, that's the same thing. Now this sequence here, as much as it looks a little, dour, I actually would be one of the few sequences I would say is not horrifically bad. Just him walking around the farm, the conversation he has here with the realtor, who obviously, he's known since he was a kid. I mean, they don't...
Yeah.
Like, there's a tiny bit of, like, an actual movie here for a minute or two.
Yeah. And, this is an interesting idea. That, Ma Kent has passed away off screen. But I need to tell you something really fast here.
Go for it.
The music was done by a gentleman by the name of Alexander Courage.
Oh my gosh. I knew that. How did I forget that?
You know who that is, right?
Of course I know who that is. He famously wrote the original Star Trek theme.
Yep. The original Star Trek theme. And
sorry for everybody listening.
He went and did a whole bunch of other Star Trek stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
But this
I can't believe I forgot about
project. That. He kind of gave up after this.
Yeah. So this I always thought was odd to me that it's like you do this on the Kent farm because he already took the crystal and it was in the Fortress of Solitude. Did he bring it back at some point? Like, why was this like...
He never checked the pod's glove compartment.
Well, this movie definitely did not have the budget to go back to the Fortress of Solitude. Like, the Fortress of Solitude does not appear in this film.
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah, he has the angry conversation with the elders.
Oh my gosh! See, I literally watched this movie 2 days ago, and I already forgot that.
Right?
I did. I had not watched this movie in years and years and years, and I did rewatch this, and wow, I had already forgotten about that.
Yeah.
It's odd to me that you had this still here. I mean, I think it's just supposed to be a callback, obviously to the first movie. This is a famous part of the first movie where he finds the green crystal. I mean,
you'd think that he'd be afraid of green crystals by now. What's he doing
Yeah.
just reaching in here grabbing that thing?
yeah.
Ugh. Awful effects for the X-ray vision.
Yeah.
I'll tell you though, he still looks good.
Yeah. Well, again, Christopher
The wig
Lee, yeah.
is barely noticeable.
Yeah. That thing is sticking out of your pocket there, buddy.
Yeah.
So here it's like,
It's okay,
I'm
it's just a
assuming
glow-in-the-dark
that, is this
condom.
implied that he just destroyed that? Like the way he was staring at it there? He just made it vanish?
Maybe it was his invisible heat vision that melted it, or
Yeah.
he
Well,
willed it out of existence, or he
there's
activated its cloaking device.
Maybe. I mean, there's a bunch of just straight up magic BS stuff that both he and Nuclear Man have in this movie.
Oh my god, it's nuts. Like Superman, especially during the Silver Age and the Golden Age, in the comics, had a habit of developing new superpowers all of a sudden. And Superman 2 and Superman 4 are both guilty of this. Like him throwing his S off of his chest in
Yeah.
Superman 2. But in this one, he just does things. Magic wall rebuilding powers and stuff like that. It's the whole memory wiping kiss thing.
Yeah, he keeps
Happens.
revisiting that trope. It's yeah. Well, and I mean, Nuclear Man, I guess since he's a new character, you can kind of do whatever you want, but it still was odd that it's like he's just he has telekinesis, right? Apparently. He's just spinning around SWAT vans and doing all kinds of stuff, and yeah, just the energy blasts, which again I get that he's not Superman, but yeah, the when we get there, man, the rebuilding of the Great Wall of China is just like it's
What were they thinking?
I don't know how to even respond to that, but like this, this is kind of sweet. He's just an old guy, an old friend of his dad's, little reconnection. And he plays the comedy bit there good of like, spinning around and throwing his back out and just kind of having a little fun with it. Yeah. But two, just the idea that Superman would have trouble letting go of this place and having it not be a farm. I mean, there's some, there's some feels there.
It is, and it is done so much better in the TV show Superman and Lois. The pilot is all about him having trouble letting go of the farm after the death of Ma Kent. And it's done really well. This whole farm, they rebuilt it to be as accurate as possible to the the Kent farm from the original, which was still standing, but they didn't have the budget to fly all of the equipment and actors to Canada from filming in England, so they just rebuilt the farm in England.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Just that bat would have shattered, right? Like he hit the ball that hard.
Yeah,
just would have
that had to be a
pulverized it.
super bat. I'm telling you, he doesn't actually have super strength in this. He has tactile telekinesis.
Yeah.
He can move things faster.
I do love the so John Cryer pulling up here as cousin Lenny. I love that at this point John Cryer has played Lex Luthor in the Arrowverse.
I did not realize that this was John Cryer until I was doing research. I'm like, oh my god, cousin Lenny is the guy from what show was he on? Will and Grace?
Well,
he played a gay guy on Will and Grace for years.
Yeah, and then he was in 2.5 Men for years and years, right?
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
He was 2.5 Men was his famous because he played opposite Charlie Sheen and then but then he was did he first appear as Lex in Supergirl or was it
he first appeared as Lex Luthor in Supergirl, and then he was the main villain of the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, which had him get punched in the face by Tom Welling's Superman.
Yeah, it was a great.
He did not return as, and he actually said that he highly regretted this. he was offered the role to return as Lex Luthor in Superman and Lois, but turned it down. But he said that he was wrong to do that, and they ended up recasting him with a different Lex Luthor, who is much larger, like buffer, brutal, and I've seen some scenes of him, and he does a really good job.
Yeah, it's when the actor who plays Lex in that I know him from, he was a prominent character in the Band of Brothers HBO series.
Yes,
as Sergeant Bull. And he's been in he's also, I think he was in a cop show for a while. Yeah, he's a big, impressive guy. This whole sequence, though, oh my gosh, the car is ridiculous. Like the horns coming, like the stereo system coming out of the doors back in, and just the way it launches. That there's like no physics are involved whatsoever. And then of course the two cops are like the prison guards are fine. They crawl up just a little dusty and kind of like ooh phased a little bit. It's so silly. Like I'm kind of surprised in a way that Gene Hackman agreed to come back and play this version of Lex again, because it's just. And I mean, I know that I think we talked about this during the first one. I have a tremendous love and respect for Gene Hackman as an actor, and I just never liked his portrayal of Lex. It's just not. I didn't like it. I didn't think he acted it well. And I don't know if that was his choices or the direction he was given, honestly. But anyways, I mean, this movie is so much worse than the issues I had with that performance in the original film.
Yeah. This does take it back to, because by the time this movie was made, they had already begun. They had already begun moving Lex Luthor more towards the evil businessman archetype in the comic books. But they still keep him as just the greatest criminal mastermind of our time. This is very clearly filmed on the London Tube.
Yeah, you can. This is so not New York. I mean, I know it's Metropolis, but this is definitely not New
Metropolis York. Had a major makeover in the last couple of years, apparently.
Yeah. And there's just the way this is set up. There's no, again, did he use telekinesis there? Or did the train
I think it was
just
the whole thing of the third rail. By stepping on the third rail, he deprived it of power, so it just slowly slowed down.
Yeah,
and he was able to not catch it.
And this, take a second, you let the EMT in, then you're like, all right, I gotta stand here and let people know, subway's still safe. Don't worry about it. It's
and the way that he says it, the way that he speaks, it's like he has no passion in his voice. He sounds depressed, and you just feel bad for the guy. I remember watching one thing where they were just the only time you see him truly happy acting in this movie is actually in a deleted scene that involves him saving his daughter from a tornado, because saving a little girl from a tornado, but it's his actual daughter.
Oh, really? Like a cameo for her?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I actually, as a plot device, the idea of the Daily Planet being bought by a tabloid is there's potential there to have some interesting storytelling happen, but it just comes across as just a weird, humoristic opportunity in this movie. It's never, it's resolved way too easily at the end, and it really is just the excuse to have, what's her face here. Just have the hots, to quote Marty McFly, have the hots for Clark Kent. And the fact that she's way more into Clark than Superman, it's just... Oh,
but
goodness.
why?
To have that...
I remember seeing that paper. That was riskier than I expected to see in a Superman movie. That might be, literally the most risque thing in a Superman movie.
Well, especially in a PG one,
too. That, partial nude.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about, because it brings it up here again, I've already mentioned it once, just because it's on my mind, is that in between our last podcast with Superman 3 and the current podcast, because Superman's been on the brain because of this and the new Superman movie, I've been wanting to watch things, and so I watched the pilot episode and several of the season 1 episodes of the show Superman and Lois. Highly recommend it, by the way. I don't know if it ends well, but so far, highly recommend it. The pilot itself takes a whole bunch of stuff from Superman 4 and Superman 3 and tries to do them better. such as the purchase of the planet by a major conglomerate, Clark figuring out what to do with the family farm after the death of Ma Kent. They take the entire freezing a lake and dumping it on something that's burning scene from Superman 3 and redo it for modern audiences and do it really well. And it's just kind of watching this and then watching that and how they handle it. It's just like seeing that people can do what they're trying to do well is encouraging to me.
Yeah. Well, it's, we could get into a whole thing of this. It's execution is on one hand, it's more difficult than a lot of us, realize, when we say, oh, just do this and this and this. It's like, okay, go make a movie. It is harder than you think. And at the same time, well, there's plenty of examples of people doing it very well. So obviously it can be done. Just do that.
That actress for that character there, because she was made up for the movie. The lady.
I forget her name. Yeah, she's the daughter of the mogul.
Lacey Warfield. Mariel Hemingway. She has what I would refer to as she's android pretty. If you wanted to make a movie like about like Terminator 3, okay? She looks like the lady from Terminator 3 to me. If you wanted to hire a woman to be an attractive robot, this actress would be your one.
This, okay.
This is idiotic and stupid.
Yes. So, we unfortunately weren't recording a lengthy conversation with this before we started the film, but I want to briefly talk about this again. Zach, you rightfully say that there's not a version of this script as written that would have worked, and I agree with that. I like the idea of the concept of Superman wrestling and even maybe starting to go down the path of, well-intentioned overreach of I'm going to just fix a problem because I can. And I think that you can definitely, I think this is a very complicated issue, and anybody who says otherwise is naive. But, the existence of nuclear weapons, it kind of sucks. Now, I completely agree with anybody who would argue, because I believe it's true, that weapons are not the reason human beings are violent creatures that kill each other over land and resources and ego and all the other things that are the cause of war. People have been at war when we had nothing better than rocks and sticks, and we are still at war with the technology we have today. It's a human condition. I acknowledge that fully. But I also think that you could definitely make nukes an interesting subject to specifically focus on, like, well, could you believe that this would be like the one thing that, let's get rid of this because there's no downside. It's not like you're gonna, like, get rid of something that also has an incredible, like, benefit to humanity. Now, the problem there is, like, nuclear power is a real thing. Like, even as I'm saying that, like, there is some counter arguments there.
Nuclear power, the benefits to nuclear weapons.
Yeah, but like, how can you?
I'm not going to say debatable, but
what I was going to say is I don't know how you have I don't know how you have the technology for one and not immediately have the other also. You know what I mean? It's that's what I mean
in the movie.
But she's an attractive woman. But anyways, the idea of let's explore Superman struggling with I see a problem, I see escalation, I see humans going down this path, and I have the ability to go change it, and why don't I change it? And kind of him even starting to, and then realizing that he's going to end up creating a bigger problem, and that human beings are going to stop. We talked about this a little bit with 3. There's a concept there about Clark Kent and Superman's interaction with humanity and how much should he help. The idea that if you help too much, you actually create a problem. You create a situation where human beings don't help themselves anymore. They just rely on you. And if you don't do anything, well then, you're not taking responsibility for the power you have to be a force for good. The balance between what Superman should physically do and what he should inspire other people to do is one of, for me personally, one of the most interesting themes of the character. And there's a version of this film that could have explored that. Again, I'm not saying that Christopher Reeve's script would have done that, even if it hadn't been interfered with or had its budget cut or anything like that. But this is the closest we've gotten so far to a movie that kind of tries to touch that issue a little bit. And I wish somebody would do it at some point.
I mean, I would say that to time of recording, the 2025 Superman film has just come out. And one of the main themes of that is what Superman should do. What superheroes, I should say, should do, and the lengths that they should go to in order to intervene on human behavior, governments, and stuff like that. I think that this movie comes, it does have that interesting idea behind it of like, oh, what should Superman do given that he has all this power and there's something so threatening like nukes that exist, right? But I think that the very conception of this movie, with this being Christopher Reeve's platform to speak about his view on nuclear weapons at the height of the or not the height of the Cold War, Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Height of the Clone War.
He was a great pilot.
Yes, he was a great pilot. Superman kind of standing up and sitting there saying, "I am going to disarm the world of nukes," is horrifying. In like, they play it as such a good little concept, this is the right thing to do, this is what Superman should be doing. The horrifying concept in reality of this superpowered being from another planet has just shown up, and even though we like him, we trust him, he's been around for a while, he's just like, oh hey, I'm telling all the governments of the world, I'm taking your stuff and I'm gonna destroy it. Like, if I was being a paranoid person, which certainly I am not paranoid at all, an alien told me, I need to disarm all of you of your strongest weapons because I'm your friend, I'm like, this guy is trying to take us over.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
This guy is trying to take away whatever threat we represent to it so that way it can take over us.
Low-key, the most, low-key, the worst plot element of this entire film is the fact that short of three, caricature arms dealers that Lex, gets into business with later, that everybody's like happy to help Superman. They're like, apparently everybody's just like, here you go. You can have it. It's like, what fantasy?
All of them were like, we've wanted to get rid of these things, but we couldn't until you said so.
Yeah, it's like, that is ridiculous. So here we are going to the Fortress of Solitude. I can't. Again, it does speak. It does
the reuse of a shot.
Yeah, it does speak to the fact that this film, again, that I just rewatched it, and because again, there's nothing. Like, this is supposed to be his big wrestle, right? Of like, what should I do? And it's just you have just generic angry Kryptonian politicians yelling at him right here, right? Instead of like, could you have somehow found the actor who played his mom again, or somebody of consequence for him to have a discussion with? This is just
they certainly weren't paying for Marlon Brando again.
Well, no, I get you couldn't get him back, but you could have found the actress that played, Laura, right?
Yeah.
This is just
a whole bunch of like random council.
Well, and it's like there's nothing that's ever been shown that like Superman would care what these guys, and that whole like betrayed and like fading off screen and like he's from the Wizard of Oz or something. It's just like, oh my gosh,
right?
It's bad.
Super strange.
Because it's the execution of the idea. Now, I would love, like, again, time of recording, we've both just recently seen the new one. There is a wonderful interview scene with Lois, and I don't want to spoil any part of that. But if you had Superman have a heartfelt conversation with someone like Lois, or with somebody like, if one of his parents is still
Robot
alive,
number 4,
about what should I do? Like, here's the pros and the cons, and somebody pointing out the things that you're saying, like, and Superman having that passion to like, but I'm watching the world march towards this, and I can actually do something about it. Like, there's a really good conversation in the hands of a good writer to be had around that subject. And this is just in a much, much better version of this film.
Yeah.
Anyways, it just makes me sad again because this movie is so rough, and Christopher Reeve, as much as he was an amazing Superman, if he had that very naive, view of just, well, if we just got rid of nukes, everything would get better. It's like just people who deny human nature and want to blame. Like, again, I'm not arguing that nukes are like a great thing, but they are not the reason that human beings are horrible to each other. That's not how it works. And if anybody's listening to this and disagreeing, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to argue that nukes are good, but that if you think that if weapons disappeared, that somehow humanity would just get solved, I think that you're a very naive person. Okay, this whole flying sequence. Do you mind if we quickly?
Dude, say whatever you want to say on this thing. This is just.
It's so bad. So again, the effects work here. The flying sequence in the first Superman movie is a legendary sequence. The musical score that John Williams wrote for it, the love theme. The love theme, just the pacing. I mean, you can say what you want. Oh my, cop shot! Look at all the blue haze around them here.
I know it's so bad.
I
get that they only had a month, and I feel so sorry for them for that. But some people watch the Hobbit movies and get to the end of Desolation of Smaug and have a similar conversation.
Yeah. But like, okay, so here I'm going to say immediately, like, all right, so they flew from New York to San Francisco. I know it's Metropolis, but it's New York.
I'm telling you. After Superman 3, when they showed the blackout map of the United States and where it started, and Metropolis going down on power, Metropolis in Christopher Reeve's universe is located on the West Coast. It's Portland.
How is she flying?
Because Superman has weird-ass powers in these movies. There's no consistency. There's no canon.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Just, this is like one of the few times you see Christopher Reeve like genuinely get like the Superman smile on his face during this sequence. So, like, I'll give it that, I guess. But this feels like such a poor man's rehash of one of the more iconic sequences of the first film. And then we, of course...
I mean, that's exactly what this was, because they were very poor.
Yeah. And then, let's just reuse the kiss, because that's a thing he can just do whenever he wants to, apparently. Just... I feel bad, too, because I feel like Margot Kidder really was a good Lois Lane. And I feel bad saying this, but she's not good in this movie.
No. I think she's like, at this point, because I haven't watched enough of Superman and Lois to really be able to judge, she's like the third or fourth best Lois Lane, I think.
Yeah, I think if you took her exclusively in the first film, I think that she's pretty good. But it's just it hit or miss. This movie's not good. She doesn't offer anything in this film. She doesn't challenge Superman in any real way. She just adores him and supports him, but that's not Lois. Lois is somebody who does absolutely love Superman, like very much so, but is also a feisty, opinionated reporter that will challenge him and will push him and will question him, and that is what makes their relationship interesting and good. And she can do all that while also being very much in love with him, which is that's a good relationship.
I think the best version so far. Like, I really enjoyed the version in the 2025 Superman. I just need to kind of really sort my thoughts on that movie before I'm able to declare her place in that. But the best is still, for me, Erica Durant from Smallville.
Yeah. Well, that again, they had the time to really develop that. Yeah, she was great. She was one of the best parts of the show as it got later, like towards the end, where she was able to really... Because they really went into the whole developing her love of journalism and wanting to really take it seriously, and her understanding of Clark, and just wanting to it was a good arc. Like, she had a better arc towards the end of that show than Clark did. But I would agree. She was very solid.
Excellent performance.
Okay, so here we go. I get the whole kid thing. Like, again, on paper, you're like, oh, what if a child is like who's able to get Superman's ear and like convince him to, but it just reinforces the naivete of the entire thing. That we are going to take, little is it Jimmy? What's this kid's name? I know it's Jimmy Olsen, but
Jeremy.
Jeremy. That was a J. Jeremy. If we just did what the 10-year-olds told us, the world would just work, and that's just not how it works.
the whole out of the mouth of babes thing, which like a bunch of people have told me that they thought that that was a biblical thing, like it's out of the Bible or something.
It's not.
No, in fact, the Bible has kind of a kids are idiots kind of point of view.
Yeah.
Um, which I gotta say is very amusing. Children are hilarious and fascinating, and sometimes they do have truly profound ideas. I know as a
They
child,
do say the
I
darndest
certainly
things,
did.
though. The old show.
Oh my god. Oh my god, they say amazing things.
Here,
But
everybody's cheering him on here, and like, oh, clapping, and Superman came in, and man, this would, I mean, not to be cynical, but yeah, he would not get this greeting at the UN. That would be a mixture.
this is, and they all hail him like he's a Nazi. But this is even more naive than the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier when Captain America decides to
goodness.
lecture a bunch of senators to do better. Like, these politicians in real life are all evil, conniving, lying people who are all thinking, how do I assassinate Superman before he takes over the world?
Well, and two, they're quite literally a diplomat's job is to look out for their own national interests. I mean, it's, to represent and further their own national interests. I mean, I know in theory the UN is about, collectively what's good for all of us. That's not how it works. Everybody's looking out for themselves. No. It's just, it's also just a very cheap looking set. You can tell that, this was just, everything about this.
The swirly pattern in the in the podium.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Yeah, this whole sequence, it's just a fairy tale.
Like,
everybody cheers.
They're all cheering. Like, these politicians would be terrified. They're like, he's taking over. This is the Injustice timeline.
Yeah.
Have you read any of the Injustice comics or played the Injustice games, Brian?
No, I've read a synopsis of it. I know generally what happens, but yeah.
It's
okay.
Did you notice the front of that thing was cut off? That was
yeah,
like a freaking circumcised submarine.
Yeah, it was weird. Okay, so is your interpretation of this that this is how they're helping him collect the missiles by just launching them for him to catch?
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
that same flight number 4.
So I'm also like, can you imagine, again, like try to frame this in any way in a realistic sense?
Yeah.
Can you imagine all the world leaders going like, all right, ICBMs, loaded like the nukes are still on them. That's the whole point.
Now, it's been about 15 to... Oh, I'm sorry, continue.
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, they're like, all their radars are like, all right, Russia's launching ICBMs. It's fine. They're giving them to Superman.
Yeah. That right there is actually real test footage. That's why it looks so good. But, and he's just got this net hanging out.
Did he build this net?
He must have tied it out of something really cool. However, there's a how do I? We haven't seen Lex Luthor in a minute. The last thing we saw him do was talk about cloning Superman and creating life and stealing Superman's hair from a museum.
This whole sequence is so bad.
During this time, part of the 45 minutes of footage that was deleted from this movie was Lex Luthor cloning Superman for the first time and creating a kind of Frankenstein's monster that just had some of the worst wig and costuming ever. And Lex Luthor, essentially, this thing does fight Superman, but it's a moron and gets itself killed.
Sorry, these guys and their guns, just like, he's coming through, or it's all so cartoonish. It's just buffoonish.
Why does this guy look like Otis?
He was in a bunch of stuff in the 90s. Now this guy on the right, this like the Mad Russian,
Mustachio Man?
Yeah, didn't he actually play one of the villains in the GoldenEye Bond movie? What, wasn't he like an actual like Russian general again in that film, I believe?
I'm not sure.
He looks like him.
Think so. Maybe.
He was he was like the one who like he ended up actually kind of thinking he was like hurting Bond and then helping. Anyways, sorry, he reminds me. Maybe he's not. He's really close. But yeah, so we jump right to this whole maybe he is. Yeah, the heavyweight guy. I know he was in other stuff in this era. I know I've just seen him in other films, but
yeah.
I also want to know, like, later on they talk about the fact that like somehow Lex was like selling nukes already again and like helping. Like, where did he get them? Like, how did he? Where I don't understand the economics of what's happening here.
Because there's no sense to it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. And you got these two random harem girls that never appear again.
Right? And, I mean, later they have a scene that's just, like, super bizarre and, like, straight up fetishy, almost? With Luther? Like, here you have these two girls, which one of them has, like, the bounciest walk I have ever seen. The most exaggerated walk I have ever seen. Even if she's just in the background. And then there's this other guy. Or later, you walk in and he's like, has some sort of weird role play going on with a woman dressed in like Victorian England.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Oh yeah. He like kisses her hand when like Nuclear Man shows up. Yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
weird.
that's right. Well, and he's like here, like the plate that was handed to him is like the genetic material that he puts in the little like lockbox that he straps to the nucleator.
Yeah,
it's like some like pile of like gelatin, like genetic material or whatever. It's just
mm-hmm. It's like his own genetic material mixed with Superman's genetic material. Is this where the early 2000s concept of Superboy came around? Oh my goodness.
They got like their mad, scientist lab coats on. Just what is that? That's just like
it looks like condoms.
Maybe. And like, what is this like dirt he's putting in there? Like just a little bit of soil, and he's just gonna grow them, and then like a little bit of fabric,
carbon, maybe.
Just
yeah.
And he's like, he references like the computer inside this box is gonna like, wait, what?
Will throw this thing material enough to maintain the high moral standards I've always subscribed
to. But
the
idea that like, so in this box, there's like a computer that like can like sew after it's been blown up by the sun. Like, wait, what?
Like the box is going to absorb the energy from the sun and birth a baby and sew him a costume. I'm not even joking.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And apparently, if you look like a general, you can just do whatever a general does.
Yeah, you got like not only Gene Hackman here, who actually does present a little bit like a real military guy, but you also have the like random arms dealer. What's that?
Even with a cravat.
Yeah. I didn't notice that.
You notice his cravat? It's taking up half of his torso.
No, you're right. I feel like Gene Hackman at least has some gravitas as a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he doesn't show it in this movie very much, but you're right. I don't know how I missed that. Looks like just a weird. But like the fact that he's got like the heavyweight arms dealer with him also, just randomly tagging along. Like, yeah. It's just, and then here like random like code that he gives him, and then like it's just it's so stupid. This whole thing is so stupid.
Yeah. It's downright moronic. There's no way that you can write yourself into making this make sense.
No.
Like, you would have to rewrite all of it and add so much dialogue.
I also
to make it vaguely make sense.
Yeah, even as a kid, I always wondered there where they showed where the box was, and they showed the missile launch, and it went through like it was sleeving out of like the holder, like the clamp, that it would have sheared the box right off.
Yeah.
Man, every now and then you see
it's like a toolbox.
It is. Yeah, it looks
orbit.
Yeah, it looks like the cash box you use at like the high school football game, like where you're selling candy bars and water bottles. You know, you keep your change in.
Yeah.
And yeah, you keep seeing the I keep seeing the god awful the blue haze around the comp. You know, every time they showing stuff flying against space or whatever. Then here
Oh,
you
look,
got
it's the Astro Baby from the end of 2001 turns into a Chip and Dale man.
he is very muscular. I'll give him that.
Yeah, apparently a large amount of people thought that he was Dolph Lundgren.
He's, I mean, if
Yeah.
you're mostly blind and haven't seen a Dolph Lundgren movie, you have just heard a description of him, I can see that.
Well, Canon Films, before this, had done Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren.
That would have been
Oh,
okay.
man.
What is like Earth there with like the black around it, and then it's blue? You know what I mean? Like just.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Also, like,
this
why
whole
is
thing.
Clark exercising with this woman?
Like yeah, well,
And-
their whole relationship is a massive part of what was cut, right?
Yeah, and the relationship between her and Nuclear Man.
That's right, because Nuclear Man has like an obsession with her that briefly gets, you know, he like is because she's used as bait later, with like no explanation as to why he like cares about her all of a sudden, other than like he sees her on a newspaper cover,
Yeah.
and that's it.
It
That's
makes
all this movie gives it.
zero sense.
This whole, yeah, the fact too that like if you're gonna keep stuff, you cut that much stuff, but you keep this, like this sequence is what you keep.
Yeah, maybe it's because of the like 80s level attractive women in workout gear. They wanted the sex appeal.
Yeah, this douche. But again, too, we've already done the comedy bit here with like the guy at the bar in Superman 2.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's it's not even that okay. Maybe this is mean because I'm not some like fitness guy, but like this guy looks like just some average guy that they threw in gym's clothes.
He's got some definition. You can tell that he works out. The thing is, even for the day, his movements are really gay.
Yeah,
Like the way that he does, like the come here, you know, like, and like
well,
it's like they're trying to make the relationship between them real.
yeah,
Because I think that what they wanted was to introduce an attractive girlfriend-ish character for Superman 5 and be able to get rid of the troublesome Margot Kidder. That's kind of my thought process.
this does make me chuckle here in a second. Just like you know,
Well, oh, like him just being...
could have seriously hurt somebody right there, but just
Yeah. This Superman is so irresponsible.
So here's the Victorian thing, just
Like,
Renaissance.
he very obviously has some sort of roleplay fetish.
Oh yeah,
And he lets his nephew watch.
yeah. Well, you have he's role playing here. She's just Mrs. Boobs. I don't know how else to say it. It just
Yeah.
and
We don't know if she's married, so she might just be Miss Boobs.
and they know that
And
this is Nuclear Man somehow. Like he's they could hear it. Like how
Yeah.
he's just flying in.
Obviously, they placed a tracking device in there.
Something, yeah. Oh my gosh, I hate Lex's wardrobe.
And I know, it's almost as bad as Margot Kidder's wardrobe.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
what
my
is
gosh.
that? Is it supposed to be like alligator scales or something?
I liked that Lenny was holding an original Nintendo controller there. Just
Yeah.
he's just an idiot kid.
So nothing about him is nuclear. You think he just called him that to piss off Superman?
Um,
Now,
I don't think they thought that hard. I think they were just I think he was just trying to come up with a name. They're like, well, he came out of the sun. The sun's nuclear, right? So he's Nuclear Man. They're like,
well, I think that the whole idea was that he's Nuclear Man because the whole thing is anti-nuclear. So the villain.
oh,
needs
you
to
think?
be nuclear.
Oh, okay. Wow, I hadn't even thought of.
Let's talk
you know,
about the voice.
I that's so on the nose. I like had moved back. I didn't even consider it. But yeah, not only using Gene Hackman's voice, but also doing kind of the like the deeper weird effect they put on his voice.
Well,
I kind of want to see
Gene Hackman
behind
voices
the scenes.
Nuclear Man.
I was just saying really fast. I'm like curious what his voice actually sounds like. This actor.
Apparently, it's not great, but I don't know. Seriously, the voices are so nuts in this scene.
Yeah.
Like,
well, so much of the ADR is rough in this movie.
But with Gene Hackman's voice coming out of Nuclear Man's mouth, they did it backwards. Gene Hackman didn't sync his voice to this guy's mouth. Gene Hackman did the lines ahead of time, and he had to sync his mouth to Gene Hackman's voice.
That's not the way you're supposed to do dubbing.
No, that's why his mouth looks so weird. And also, he just like shuts down when he's out of sunlight.
Yeah, well, and the fact that it's just instant, also, like just there's like no delay.
Yeah.
There's also still plenty of natural light happening in this room, so that's what's a little, like direct sunlight versus.
And there's so many of the times in the movie when he's out of sunlight.
Oh yeah, well, and this is a vulnerability that would just be so atrociously like bad. It's just any time, like you're on a planet that rotates away from the sun all the time.
Like if you were able to establish rules to it to make it better, you could have it so that it's just like he needs to have been in the sunlight more, and he can like absorb power from the sunlight.
Yeah.
And so it's just like he can be in the shade longer the longer he's been in the sun. Well, yeah, and so as the movie goes on, he gets more powerful. So you need to keep him in the shade long enough for his power to go fully away. Works. Like, that's a complicated power set that could still be kind of cool,
Yeah. Oh, goodness. When I just to finish up that scene before we jump into this, the whole Lenny spinning around and like the joking like it's just crazy, man, we should be worried, and like that whole thing, and just the overall vibe of the relationships is just like Otis. I understood the idea of kind of the incompetent fool that you get to kind of do your bidding. And it was played, just in kind of a fun way in the original film. And Cousin Lenny is just dumb. And, John Cryer I don't know most of his work. I didn't watch a lot of 2.5 Men. He seems like a perfectly fine actor, but this was just wasted in this film.
Yeah.
And just the effect on Nuclear Man with the whole, like, he walks in and, like, all of a sudden it's like a Nintendo level, like, power down effect that, like, the blue, outline that, like, woo, woo, woo. As he goes, it's just, I hate it all. I hate it all.
Idiotic.
Okay, so here we go. No, so this is the sequence where somewhere in here there's a special effect you were talking about, right? Like a camera trick or something?
Also, like, I really like her dress, but I hate that freaking vest thing. It looks so bad. But it was also the 80s, but who knows?
Yeah, fashion in the 80s, especially, like, dressy fashion in the 80s was particularly weird.
Yeah. This whole idea of Superman and Clark having to be at the same place, same time, like, Mrs. Doubtfire climax style, is hilarious to me. But, like, they don't make it work well at all.
Well, and part of it is
they have this scene.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say they have this scene where Superman they have the one frame. I want to say it now before it comes up because I'm not positive exactly where it is. Superman leaves the frame and then Clark pops up in the door seconds later. So the question is, how would they film that? You have to do it where his X-ray he can now combine his heat vision and X-ray vision. Like, if he used his heat vision to cook that duck, then how did he not just burn a hole through everything?
Well, because he has special wall penetrating, very selective. And the fact that he like cooks it perfectly too. It's interesting that, she's like, smells it like there's a problem, but then a second later she's like, coming out like, I've never cooked a duck so perfectly in this. You know, it's like, it's so. You know, he didn't. I kind of like the idea that he didn't ruin the meal for her, but at the same time, just the idea that. Just, oh gosh, part of it is. Okay, I actually think a little bit of Clark's like physical humor, you know, his physical comedy chops are not horrible in this sequence. Sorry, I say Clark, I mean Christopher Reeves, but
Christopher Reeves.
Yes, it's not. Again, Mrs. Doubtfire. That's a legendary sequence, right? In the restaurant, and it's done so well. There's so much energy to it. The problem with this sequence is. On paper, this is a great sequence, and I think that this would be a great sequence to try to do again in the Superman movie if you want to have a good comedy bit.
Yeah.
But there's not energy to it. There's not this manic, like, it never really feels, you know, like it's moving too slowly. Superman's transitions are, you know, just limited by what they could do at the time. And you just...
And with the budget.
I don't believe ever during this sequence that people would fall for this. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a believable, like when Robin Williams is going back and forth, because also it's getting more desperate and like the frantic energy and the way that it's edited and everything is all just very like.
And he's getting drunker.
Yeah, he is. It's just good. This whole thing is just, it's so slow. The pacing is very just unimpressive. Terrible. Yeah, and the and it's not that funny. Like, it's never really that funny.
No, it never reaches the point where it's actually like anything more than what an amusing idea.
Yeah.
You know?
This house is crazy, by the way. Like,
yeah, like the indoor spa that's in like an orgy pit.
She comes in, she just like, you know, where's Clark? She just like accepts that he's just a dope.
Like, she left the apartment and then came back in. Like,
she didn't wait for Clark, or...
Yeah, but okay, so he leaves, and then he's right there.
Yeah. So how did they do it? Because there was no edit there. He ran off to the right as Superman. How did they do that? Do you remember?
He just never showed his face. It was a stunt double.
Oh, like in the suit. Mm-hmm. They came into it.
They
just
edited
the right time.
it so well. They had one brief little jump that almost doesn't register in your brain that it exists.
I mean, that's a good old-fashioned trick.
Yeah, it was really well done. Why was the sink water red? Is that a pan?
I think there's like a tub in there or something.
Yeah.
Maglite. Oh goodness. Sorry, the advertising here. You know, the checks box and goodness.
Yeah, and like, what the heck is Lex Luthor even doing? Why does he just have this like magical ability to suddenly be like, "Oh hey, I'm back," and
and I've like somehow I've taken over like the top of the Empire State Building, like just like I live on like the top floor, which I believe it's like all office buildings, right? Isn't it mostly office space?
Yeah,
in real life. Again, they shouldn't have used such a recognizable New York. You know, I mean, they use the Statue of Liberty all the time, right? But it's just
because they had to film the whole thing in London, and they just used plates.
Yeah.
And
so he tells them. So Superman is like, all right, I'm going to blow off a couple floors. So Superman's response is like, I'm going to fly over and just kind of walk inside and just check it out. Like is Superman supposed to be surprised that Lex was here? Because Lex is talking to him like, surprise, I'm here. But Superman didn't show up with any kind of frantic energy like, I'm expecting a bomb. But then he says like, well, considering you're not miles away, there must not be any bomb. It's like, wait, what? Like, it just, again, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. The pacing is ridiculous.
They needed the characters to go from A to B. They didn't have the budget to do anything crazy and frantic. So they just hand wave it away.
I love that Lex right there, like, I tricked you. You look great. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, Gene Hackman doesn't care.
No, he's
Gene Hackman don't give a shit.
Yeah, he really doesn't. Oh, good. And again, you've not seen a lot of Gene Hackman films, right?
Really haven't.
Okay.
In fact, I can't even think of one other than Superman.
Because I promise you, he's genuinely an amazing actor.
I'm sure he's touted as a legend. He died just recently, really tragic circumstances.
Oh yeah, it's a sad story. But I mean, you go watch the French Connection. You go watch Unforgiven. You go watch some of the Mississippi Burning. I mean, there's some, like, his dramatic chops were amazing. He had an intensity. The best. I know you're not a sports guy. I'm not really either. But in my opinion, the greatest sports film ever made. Hoosiers. He's an amazing coach. Just this,
Well, that's just I'm not a sports guy. I specifically really, really hate basketball.
That's fine.
Mostly because I just can't play it to save my life.
Okay, so this whole sequence here. So Nuclear Man, like, lands, right? But Superman's like half ignoring him. And, like, we're just going to keep talking here. Is Nuclear Man's just like, he's just like waiting. And Superman has like there's no tension. There is zero tension in this scene. As they're just like chatting, and Superman's just kind of like casually like, all right, let's just have this conversation casually. I have my back to him most of the time. I have this slight grimace, which is like the most concerned you're going to get out of me here. It's so strange that, again, there's no energy to this. There's no tension to this. There's no sense of danger or threat here at all. The tone of their conversation is like guys discussing an idea, like, small talk at a cocktail party is like the tone of their conversation.
Yeah.
This is the only time they ever do the footsteps thing here, where it's like, wait a minute, does this like everywhere he walks, he's like melting the ground? Like, wait, what?
Well, it's just because he's freshly charged by sunlight. The line that he uses of "I don't want a war, I just want to keep the threat of war alive," I think is pretty good. It's just not used much.
No,
like, it's not from please.
Okay,
this whole
it's so
quote unquote fight is like several of the recappers, reviewers, and commentators I watched have all said, like, even by that day's standard, this was the lamest thing in the world.
Oh, it's so bad. I mean, so they like kind of grab each other, they fall off, they just rotate. Wait, what was that hit? Like, again, this is the kind of fight that makes Captain Kirk's fight with the Gorn, from a choreography standpoint, make Captain Kirk's fight with the Gorn look like John Wick choreography.
Right?
It's just, oh man.
Yeah.
And
just the funky ass set.
I'm just gonna start blowing up the Great Wall of China. It's all over, and he flies off very slowly. Superman shows up just in time to save the one random falling person.
Nobody there is Asian.
And then
like
he has time to stop.
Nobody at the Great Wall of China is Asian.
Yeah, but he has time to like stop here and like repair everything with his magic rebuild brick vision. Wait, what is this?
And you can tell that like this wasn't meant to be what they were doing. Him like looking around like that. That's obviously from an entirely different scene. Like the lighting and everything is so different. They were just like, he needs to repair the wall. Let's just have it so he can do it with his eyes. Just use this scene from this other part that we filmed of him looking that way and then looking that way and then nodding.
Yeah.
And
gosh. Just like
ice breath.
Makes him into an ice cube, blows him off.
I froze my action figures when I was younger, and that's kind of what they look like.
Oh, the volcano scene. Oh,
dude,
my gosh.
This 3 and 4, God, they hate Italy, don't they?
They really do. Oh, gosh.
Like the Leaning Tower of Pisa with the last one.
Yep.
Here's some chalk explosions done on a miniature.
You can really tell this is high school science fair level effects here on the volcano.
Yeah.
Get some B-roll of some guys on a back lot. So obviously on a back lot here. Oh, yeah. The bad matte paintings. Superman finally, it's so bad.
Shatter out of the ice somehow.
This lava looks horrible.
That's not the worst shot. I didn't mind the fake lava. That's the 6th time they've used that flight.
This though, I'm going to cut the top off this mountain. And
okay, so keep going.
Just the heat vision, it looks so cheesy, and This whole
A whole
that
bunch
he
of
like
people-
tosses it, like he doesn't set it down. He like just casually flips it, and the oh man, that's a good shot. If you really nail that. Not to mention this would actually make everything worse. Wouldn't this actually make everything worse on that volcano?
Well, okay, so here's the thing, all right? So with a volcanic eruption, when a volcano is erupting, it's going to keep erupting even if you cork it, right? However, this wasn't an erupting volcano. This was an artificial eruption because of Nuclear Man.
Yeah.
I do get why people say, oh, this would just make everything worse by capping it. You're building up pressure for an even worse explosion later. That's not actually true in this situation because essentially Nuclear Man drilled a hole to where there would be greater pressure. So plugging it would probably actually stop something.
Okay. Well,
which is an idiotic thing for me to have to clarify. I know.
Yeah. But this whole thing where like his nails pop out and they have like a switchblade sound effect. And
yeah, like Wolverine had premiered by now.
But also too like where he goes at Superman, Superman's got like his arms up and he's like blocking, and just it's just it's so bad. And then, this whole idea, there's like a moment here of like Nuclear Man actually trying to be kind of clever, like, ooh, if I hide, he'll fly past me. And then I'll distract him with the Statue of Liberty. While he's carrying the Statue of Liberty, I'll scratch him with my claws. Like, it's
right.
I'm tempted to try to give it a tiny bit of credit for like trying to be creative here, but I can't actually do it because it's just still so stupid.
Yeah, it's the worst. And the way that he carries the whole thing, like it would just be broken to shit.
Yeah. Well, especially when Superman sets it back down.
Because I'm cussing so much in this one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean,
have to because it just
Yeah. Well, I mean, the physics of as strong as Superman can be, as strong as you want him to make, as strong as you want him to be, there's still the physics of exerting that much strength in a human-sized hand, right?
Yeah.
I actually
like the copper would bend and break. There's time number 6 of the same.
Yep. Here, the Statue of Liberty falling just straight down. It just looks so fake. It looks like a little, prop that you would find. Like you bought this at the gift shop at the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. The idea that he's like not even like holding it really. He's kind of palming. He doesn't have like a grip on it.
You see, this is why he's not actually super strong. He has tactile telekinesis, which means he can move any item as long as he is physically touching it.
When we get to the fantastic plane sequence in Superman Returns,
oh my gosh,
the interactions he has with that plane are so good. Like, how
I literally just rewatched that movie because my wife had never seen it, and I'm excited for Superman, so I'm like, I'm going to watch this one again because it's way better than people give it credit for, and Brandon Routh is great. And that scene to this day,
it's so good,
is incredible.
Yeah. But okay, so he gets the statue. I mean, setting it down is just, it's so perfect. And of course, the Statue of Liberty is just sitting there. The 3 little scratches, and then I'm just going to kick you. And then what is it? What is like a satellite beep goes off there or something? His cape falls down. But like his cape falls down over the top of the Statue of Liberty. Even though he went off way in the other, it's every part of this is dumb.
Yeah. It makes no sense. And he just wins.
Oh, gosh.
And then she's got her nice little red marijuana top here.
Yeah.
I know it's not actually marijuana, but it looked like it at first glance to me.
Just, oh, goodness.
Everybody, cheap.
Okay. Now, I have never actually gone and tried to hunt down deleted scenes or cut footage of this movie. Have you actually seen like cut footage of this movie?
Some of it. I watched the fight scene with fake Nuclear Man. That was fascinating. Did you ever see any pictures of fake Nuclear Man?
I've seen stills, but never any footage. Never any actual footage.
Dude, it's weird. He looks like a cross between an angry porcupine, an 80s rock band lead, and a pimp. really horrible. But why do you ask?
Oh, just I think about this section too. I mean, they're supposed to have, that she's worried about Clark, and Lois is worried. It's always a back and forth thing of, does the kiss actually work? Does Lois know all along, and the kiss just is when she kind of goes along with it, or does she kind of remember but kind of not? Like, there's a lot of ambiguity about how, because it's hinted at multiple times that his door is rough. Like, you need to repaint that thing. That's chipped up. Look at it. He looks like he lives in the squalor here. Like, look at this door. Where'd they find this door? Anyway, sorry. That's not how you open a door with a credit card, by the way. But some of the deleted scenes here, because we have this conversation, which is very implied that she knows and he knows that she knows. They're kind of talking around it still, and it's odd that they would make that choice. Like, just let it be,
Yeah. And, he's just suddenly in his apartment and sick-ish?
Yeah, he doesn't seem that sick here, actually, compared to the fact that he just got walloped by Nuclear Man. But he looks, he's a little sweaty.
Where did he go? How did he get back there,
Yeah. And again, there's, a sweet conversation somewhere in this dialogue. But this whole scene just comes across as just kind of awkward and like a bad play.
This has a bad stage play feel to it.
Yeah.
The
lighting is weird too. We have the red neon flashing light outside of his apartment window or something going on here. You notice that?
Yeah.
Did they go
I
film
always
this?
figured it was. I don't. I assume it's a soundstage.
Yeah, but does Clark just? It's weird that they again. I feel like that he lives in it's the crappiest part of New York or something, where there's just red flashing lights coming through his windows. His apartment is just a total just crap hole. Just.
Well, I mean, if I was Superman, okay, if I was Clark Kent, if I was Kal-El, and I'm I can go anywhere to sleep because I'm Superman. I don't want to I have a freaking reporter's salary. I don't want to pay for stuff, so I'm going to rent the shittiest apartment I can. And, I'm going to just go sleep at the fortress.
That's true. Oh, man.
I call that super economics.
Anyways, yeah, there's the skeleton of a sweet scene here, of a touching scene here, but it's just not executed well. I don't think the performances are good really on either side. Again, he's not he doesn't look that sick. There are certain shots where he seems a little extra sweaty, but that's about it. Other than just the blanket, there's just really nothing going on. Again, the whole it's the attempt was there, but it was just not executed on. Okay, and this whole okay, again, I want to understand the economics of this. So we've decided to increase your commission. Has he been did Lex just have a warehouse full of nukes he was selling, and everybody paid him in US dollars and no wire transfers? He just got a sack of cash. Did they? I don't. Those blinds were open when he opened them. So he turned on Nuclear Man, yet when he went over, the shades, behind him here, right? They're the vertical shades, but they're all open already.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense that Nuclear Man was turned off.
Well, he was under a blanket.
But he opened the shades. Lex didn't pull the blanket off of him, and it's not even a blanket. It's his own cape. He was covered in his own cape.
So his ass was in shadow. He was covered by his cape. He opened the drapes. The sunlight hit his butt.
It doesn't make any sense.
He just anally absorbed the sunlight.
I love that in the background there's a butler holding a tray that has money stacked on it also. It's not in frame now, but it was. It's just funny. This whole thing is so
with
stupid.
A man this vain, and he's created somebody who he's technically almost his own clone, but it's his super clone, that there's no back to those those spandex.
Nuclear Man is trying so hard not to blink here. He's like, stare,
Yeah.
stare. Like, don't blink.
Right?
Okay, so there had to have been a bunch of deleted scenes about this whole thing, right? Because he's now
a
like
bunch.
old.
There was definitely a deleted scene where Lois says that she's known for years and she's always known. I remember seeing something like that.
But to here, like, he's like old all of a sudden. And
Yeah, there was an entire subplot where he starts rapidly aging.
because he got scratched by Nuclear Man.
It's yeah, it had something to do with, he gets his power from the sun. Nuclear Man gets his power from the sun. Nuclear Man can somehow absorb energy from Superman, and he'd like energy vampired him almost.
But then the idea that he like takes the last power of Krypton and absorbs it to like heal himself, right? Like that's what's implied, even though they don't really show it at all. He just shows up as
Something
Superman
like
again.
that, yeah.
So here we have, this is the only connective tissue left in the film of like, oh, there's an attractive woman on this newspaper cover. I want to go bang her. I mean, that's basically what's happening here, right?
Basically, it's oh god, he's hit puberty.
Because he flies, he does his yell, and he's like, are people just supposed to know like who he's looking for here?
Yeah,
Because Superman flies
so.
in, and Superman acts like he knows why he's here. Like that
Yeah.
he understands. What is this? He's like,
there was
he like a little like flash in the car, like hit, like crumpled in, like it hit him. You'll never find her.
Yeah,
What-
there
how
was
did-
this
how
whole
did
thing
Superman
about
know?
him falling because he's Superman.
Oh gosh, I love too the idea that like Superman is just like standing here watching this the whole, like Superman's doing nothing right now. Like Nuclear Man's
He's a
just
very
like,
passive passenger in all this.
oh yeah, he's just
He's a passiver.
okay. I'm sorry.
That was
He does do one thing.
Please
He
delete that
blows
from the
out the
edit.
fire, and he says, "Please stop." Oh, we gotta. What is this? He like infects the fire hoses somehow. Just
Yeah.
Again, telekinesis,
these guys
he pushes
are
the
just
cars.
pulling random powers out their butts.
Oh, it's such a random the way it's edited. The explosions, everything's made out of explodium, and
Everything is made out of explodium.
it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And this
And,
whole
like,
thing,
So much of their
sometimes,
budget must have gone to this.
oh yeah, there are times where he does like the orange blast and it blows stuff up. Other times the orange blast is telekinesis, but then other times the telekinesis is the white, kind of whitish blue, and then he like, instead of blowing up weapons, he like melts them. And then Superman does this whole thing where he like all of a sudden now Superman can like with his eyes like, I will lower
Yeah.
you. I have so many questions, Zach. I have questions.
I do not have answers for you, bro.
What is
I do
what
not
is
have answers.
happening?
It's nonsense. This is like anime level nonsensical.
And like Superman's like, all right, like I'm gonna, like come on, little guy. But he's also acting very kind of, what do you call it? Like submissive here in a little ways. I mean, I guess he's trying to kind of lure him in. This whole sequence. Oh my gosh, the editing here, like when they do the cuts of the different ceilings and then they go to the outside, it's so bad.
Well, I mean, didn't they repeat that same image like 3 times?
They did, and then when he comes up, like his arms are still up, like
And-
just.
And how did Clark get up? How did Superman get up there so fast?
And how did? I mean, I know he says it later, like it. While I was recuperating, I had time to work this out. So just off screen,
Yeah.
Superman figured out his weakness. Like you wouldn't have put that
Right?
in the movie somewhere, like during their oh gosh,
So he puts him in the elevator
yeah.
in order to cut him off from the sunlight, takes him and the elevator into the space, and then drops the elevator onto the moon,
On the light side of the moon.
where it can on the light side of the moon, not even on the dark side of the moon. But the thing is, he drops it in a way that it impacts, so that it impacts hard and causes it to crack.
Yeah. So Superman.
You couldn't have put it down.
Yeah. This whole
Like
the reason the movie's not over here is because Superman effed up.
Yeah. Superman got impatient and lazy and was like, I don't want to deal with this schmutz anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do this now.
and because you know somewhere in the notes, like, you know, what'd be cool is if they fought on the moon. And so Superman has time to like go like take a detour to the American flag and be like, oh, I got to straighten this up. I got to stop here and be patriotic and make sure this looks good.
Truth, justice, and the American way. Which it should be mentioned that the American flag on the moon is bleached white.
Because they
of solar radiation.
Yeah, but to say this whole sequence. Again, they use a lot of slow motion here. The choreography of just Christopher Reeve, like, you know, just like
they can't.
The hits have no impact. I mean, they're trying to do low gravity, right? They're trying to make it look like it just looks dumb.
Yeah, so they want it to look like they're doing it in low gravity because everybody knows that there's low gravity on the moon, but the result is that they're just doing it slowly. This goes on for something like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's long.
Like this knee hit,
it looks bad.
Yeah, it looks, again, there's no impact. Like the
I think
throwing.
That knee hit is the hardest impact in the thing.
Yeah. Like that throw was, and that Superman is just like, I must have gotten him there. The way that he just kind of stands looking at him like, all right, that probably did it, right?
Yeah, certainly, Kal-El, certainly.
Oh, and this, though, I'm sorry, Christopher Reeve's reaction here to, like, you're getting hit by energy and it's so just, and like some of the special effects actually show them like, he's like not even being hit by them, yet he reacts like he is sometimes, and just, oh man, why wouldn't he just scratch him again? Obviously, that was effective. Like Superman should have lost this fight. Yeah.
I have the power. Seriously, anybody who's never seen this movie, don't watch it. But maybe go look up the moon fight.
It's so bad.
Just to look up the moon fight. And how in the heck was Nuclear Man born with fillings?
I love this too. Like Superman, like is holding his head. Like, was there like a stunt accident here, or like he attacked Nuclear Man, but did he like bust his head like on the rock? Because that seems odd. And then,
one of the major issues with this movie is that there were poor working conditions and unprofessional working conditions, and a stuntman was severely injured and got a $500,000 payout.
That's right. And it came out of the movie's budget. So
it did indeed.
It's so bad here.
Yeah.
And then the whole, Superman just moves the moon as the ultimate solution to this problem.
I will.
I mean, it's one of the more Superman thing. That's been done in the comics, right?
I don't know about moving the moon.
You would screw up the Earth like majorly if you like just grabbed the moon and you just like shoved it around the title. You would kill so many people.
Brian, we should watch Moonfall.
Oh gosh. Well, we should watch that right with Independence Day Resurgence, which also has an object that size interacting with the planet, right? and what it would do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, he has time here. You got to fix the flag before you go back. And of course, she can go to space and she's fine.
Yeah. Like, she's
man. The physics of him moving the moon is so just like, oh my God. I just don't even know what to say.
And the music is so bad. But yeah, like she's an icicle corpse.
Yeah,
right now.
She's dead.
She should be, but no, she's just hanging out.
Well, and then she hangs on to him. He's still like holding her up somehow. Like he's like still levitating. Like if she holds on to him, like she's in space. She's not like even like high up in the atmosphere. She's fully in space. Like what is happening right now?
That might have been a different shot.
It's just so bad. Look how far away they are. Oh my gosh.
And he's just hanging out in space.
It's just like, I don't even know what to say. It's just like, nobody watched this in the editing room and was just like, bro, you think maybe we should like make him just be like up in the sky somehow. And then here, like, if I throw him into a nuclear, I love the hatch that's like open and closes as he falls into it here in a second, like right there. Just like thump. And
they
then
just throw a doll into a nuclear reactor, into a tube painted with a nuclear reactor.
And of course, you get Nintendo special, sound effects. And everybody's lights get a little bit brighter, and that's the only consequence.
And like somehow, like that killed Nuclear Man. Like he just threw him into a nuclear reactor. Wouldn't that have possibly made him stronger? And he emerged as like a Nuclear Man kaiju.
Wouldn't it have destroyed the plant or like created some kind of natural ecological? It would have been bad.
No, it just was a larger battery.
It's just oh god. And then this whole just out of left field magic solution where Perry White went and like convinced a bunch of bankers to buy his aging newspaper that's not gonna, turn up. It's just, and I think that Jackie Cooper's Perry White, especially in the first two films, is actually pretty good. But this is just a sad ending to his portrayal as the character right here because it's just so, just nonsensical.
Yeah, he's just like, I was able to figure out how to get the better of you, Mr. Powerful Business Tycoon Man.
And here's a bunch of newspapers that weigh nothing. Right? Hug, and we're back to the UN and the fake UN. Oh,
right,
goodness.
They just took some photos of the flags at the UN, and then, just retook it to a train station in England.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts. This whole thing was filmed in England. And they just took a couple of pictures of other cities and said, we're here.
And you think here that, again, Lois is clearly giving him cover, and just, she knows he's Superman, obviously. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to
Jimmy's just too old to play Jimmy.
Yeah, he's way too old, yeah. I would say, are we ever going to do Supergirl? Is that on our list?
It's not currently on our list. I was going to bring that up.
It's rough,
it's bad, dude.
It's really bad.
It's long.
Like, it's almost as bad as this movie.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd say that it's on par with, like, Level 3.
Okay.
Level 3? Movie 3. Wow.
I kind of like this speech. I'm not saying I love it, but I kind of like it. There's a hint of a good idea here, of just him going, I was wrong. There'll be peace when people want it. There'll be peace, when people change.
There's a hint of a good idea in here, the same way that there is a hint of flavor to a LaCroix.
I also feel like Christopher Reeves is being sincere here. Like his acting is pretty good in this scene because I think he really cares about what he's saying.
Oh, he surely wrote that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I do like the car.
You like the car?
Mm-hmm.
It's just shaking.
I like the car. I mean, this is clearly front projection.
Oh yeah.
Or is it?
I don't know. It's just
because like the paper was moving almost convincingly. But no, it's just an old, like, 19...
Gene Hackman is doing that driving thing that actors do where they turn their wheel a ton while they're driving. And why is he wearing, like an old aviator, like, cap and everything here? And
because he's a fetishist of some kind, okay?
He likes to roleplay. He really likes to roleplay.
And he's really giving the worst punishment to this kid. He's giving him to the priests at a boys' home. How do you think that's going to go?
Yeah, that was...
It's almost like they were predicting Kevin Spacey's casting in Superman Returns.
Oh. Ouch.
Dude, I love Superman Returns, but I'm going to have fun talking, or I'm going to have fun in the metaphorical sense talking about Bryan Singer and Kevin Spacey.
It's a shame that two genuinely talented guys are not good human beings at all. I will defend Kevin Spacey as a brilliant actor and a really horrible human being.
It's a soundbite I can use against you. I will defend Kevin Spacey. Just cut it off.
Thank you. Yeah, edit that correctly and get me in trouble.
I mean, Bryan Singer, because funny story for everybody. I thought that we were doing X-Men at the end of last year. So I studied up on X1, 2, and 3. I was watching all kinds of stuff on them, getting all the behind the scenes, and then it's like, oh no, we changed that, remember? I'm like, crap, forgot.
Yeah, we went Punisher
And
instead.
I went all in on the research onto the stuff going on with Bryan Singer behind the scenes of those movies. He made the best X-Men movie.
Yeah. Did they just reuse this? I don't think they filmed that again, right?
That's correct. That is an exact recreation of the flyby used at the end of Superman 3.
But, like, I mean, did they film it again? Or did they just reuse the footage?
It's the exact footage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really strange.
So, yeah.
But
Bryan Singer is he's a talented filmmaker. And it's just, yeah.
Oh, he's bad. Like, they actually had to change a lot of the scripts for the first X-Men and some of the ideas for the second one because certain actors were pressing charges against him that got swept underneath the rug. Fascinating. We'll talk about that when we get to that.
Yes, we do actually have those films back on the
Superman.
schedule. So just anybody's curious, we will be doing them later this year. But yeah, this movie, like I said, there's no defending it, but I don't take joy in like mocking it or you know just beating up on it a little bit. Like when we get to some other bad movies, like, you know, they're just you can have fun with it. You can be like, all right, this is just, you know, this movie is just I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I probably, like, I was telling my daughter got halfway through this movie with me and she couldn't finish it. She just left. She's like, I'm sorry, Dad, you're on your own. I'm like, I get it. And she left. And I'm like, yep, I'm going to watch this again to prepare for this episode. I'm going to watch it during this episode. And then I will probably, other than showing somebody this film, I will never watch this film again. But my feelings about this movie are just sadness. And I just wish that he had been able to end, like, as much as Superman 3 is rough, if it had just ended there, it would have been so much better. Just the fact that this was just such a bad ending, and just at so many levels, bad writing, bad effects, bad pacing, bad acting. There is nothing redeeming about this movie. The best I can come up with is there is an idea kind of like what they went for in this plot that could have been a good Superman movie if nobody involved in this movie was involved. You know.
Yeah.
And that's it's just sad.
Yeah.
Like there is 0 point in having a conversation about how would you fix this movie, because there was no fixing this movie.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. There's no fixing it. You would need to burn it to the ground and restart from nothing.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies where, because the majority of films out there, even a lot of the bad ones, I understand why they were made. I understand, like, there's something salvageable. You could sit there and just say, even if you restarted from the ground up, there's something you could do with it. This movie should not exist. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have been made. This is a zombie film. Not because there's zombies in it, but because they decided to resurrect something that was dead, and it should have stayed dead.
Yeah.
And it is our righteous duty to kill it. That's what this movie is.
Yeah.
And it's so tragic. It's like watching a beloved family member come back from the dead, and you know that you need to put a pickaxe in its head.
That's such a morbid way to put it. Oh, man. Yeah, and it's can you imagine if you just saw the first Superman and this one, and you were like, what happened? It's just, you know,
Yeah.
because, you know, the Christopher Reeve Supermans did, I mean, it's probably one of the clearest examples of just like the decline being so linear, like just a straight, you know, like 45-degree angle, right? If you have, you know, this as a zero, and, you know, the original Superman being just like an iconic classic film that like launched the comic book genre and film as we know it. And you can draw like on a graph, like a straight 45-degree angle between those two movies. And that's what these four films are. I'm trying to think of another.
It's like watching the show Heroes.
Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, sad. Yeah, because I mean, almost every other franchise that I can think of, even if you do have a begins with the best and then slowly gets worse, the speed at which these things drop off is truly something to behold. I can't think of another example because there's a lot of examples of like the first two movies being really solid and then the other two dropping down. I'm thinking of like Aliens, like 1 through 4. The first two movies, depending on who you talk to, kind of are debatable. Which one's better? I mean, we talked about that. Depending on if you're more of a horror or an action person. And the third movie actually has some redeeming stuff, despite being infamously bad. And the fourth movie is just bad, although not even close to being this bad. Like that comes to mind as a comparable. Although Alien and Aliens are way more neck and neck of quality than Superman 1 and 2. To be fair. So, but I'm trying to think of another example of just a drop off like this over a set of 3 or 4 films. Can you think of one?
There is one.
Go for it.
Well, okay, there might be others because I was sitting there trying to think of maybe I was specifically trying to think of ones with like 4 entries. And I was sitting there thinking wait, the Thor movies. I'm like, wait, no, but those, dark. Okay, so that's like an M almost. But
it's so weird.
90s Batman. You have the 89 Batman, a masterpiece. Batman Returns. Oof. Batman Forever. Oof. Batman and Robin. Oh.
Yeah.
Like that is almost a 45-degree.
That is close.
Except that I almost prefer Batman Forever over Batman Returns. But
really?
That's a whole other.
It's interesting because
I really don't like Tim Burton.
Okay.
He is at his Tim Burtoniest.
Yeah.
He annoys me, and Batman Returns is Tim Burton at his Tim Burtoniest.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting when we get to those because those films are revered by so many comic book fans, and I love Batman. I do not revere those films, and other than liking Michael Keaton very much, I don't have nearly as much to say about those films that's positive. So it'd be interesting because most people have a very high regard of those films, and I'm not one of them.
If you count the 2017 Mummy movie as part of the Mummy trilogy, given that they have the connective tissue
interesting.
of the Golden Book, then you could say those Mummy movies.
Okay.
Though at the same time, I actually don't know if Tom Cruise's Mummy movie is worse than Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. It's been so long since I've seen Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, and I hated it so much. And the 2017 Mummy movie is actually one where I'll say that it's not good, but it's better than people give it credit for.
Well, and it's definitely better than Quest for Peace.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I mean it's a functional film at the very least, right? It's like it's an actual movie.
These ones that I have named are not in any way worse or on the same level of bad as Quest for Peace.
Yeah. I'm
just saying that they are a quadrilogy with that level of downward angle.
Is there any other film that we've watched so far that you can think of that's as bad as Superman 4? Or like at least in the conversation? I don't think so.
Because like right now in my listing, the worst movies we've watched have been the name of it went right out of my head. Superman 4 and Pacific Rim Uprising.
Okay.
What are the worst?
Because looking here, I'm quickly, we did a whole episode last year where we were talking about these. We've had some rough, but I mean, like the original Dredd, Judge Dredd movie is pretty bad.
But it's still fun in its badness. We watched a lot of good movies.
Yeah, I'm about to say there's nothing remotely this bad. Like the worst.
Well, Conan the Barbarian from 2011 was pretty bad, but it was like so bad it's good.
Yeah, but like I mean, like the worst movies we've watched. Like I'm very quickly scanning here. Yeah, Conan the Barbarian 2011, Judge Dredd, and again, I'm not comparing these as far as like how bad they were to this movie, but like Warcraft was not great. I know I'll piss off people for this, but Dune 1984 was not a good movie, and if you defend that movie, I'm sorry, you're wrong.
It's not great. It's not
you know.
great.
But yeah, nothing remotely coming to the level of this film. It's Dragonheart, as much as I have nostalgia for it, is not an amazing film.
That's a great movie. How dare you?
It's not a great movie. And Pacific Rim Uprising was also rough. But yeah, this. Yeah, it's a rough movie. And I mean, we actually rediscovered that RoboCop 2017 is worse than we both thought of it. Like when we watched it, we're like, wait a minute, we were like ready to defend this movie. This actually is not good. But none of those films remotely approach the problems that this movie has.
No, those are smelly turds compared to this open septic tank of a film.
Yeah. Like I said,
yes, this is a septic tank of tragedy.
Yeah.
Of something that could have, should have, would have been so much better and more beautiful if it had the time and the budget that was allocated to somebody as passionate about the character as Christopher Reeve. But there's nothing more you can really say about it other than it's bad. Yeah. It's so bad.
I think you're right.
It almost killed the superhero genre.
Yeah, it was because this was what
Superman
80.
wouldn't be on the big screen for another 20 years.
Because let's see, this I should just know what this is.
87.
87. So Batman was next year, right? Or 2 years. 89, right? Okay, so yeah, Batman kind of rescued superhero films from Superman, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
All right. Well,
look at the
we should
10-star reviews.
We should just
IMDb
put this.
man,
this thing has a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. The 14% who gave it a positive, I want to talk to them. I want to ask them, like, all right, like, can you explain this to me? Because this is a movie. There are some movies that should have a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, like that. There's nobody who defends it as being objectively good, because Rotten Tomatoes is a binary. You know, it's past a certain mark or below a certain mark.
60%.
Yeah. Anyways, we are jumping right to Superman Returns next week. Anybody who's curious, and I'm looking forward to that, because for all that movie's issues, I also have a very it holds a special place to me, and there's a lot I think that's very, very excellent about it, in spite of its issues.
I think that it's genuinely a good film. That is just, it's good, not great. It has its problems. It has its issues. They cast a 22-year-old to play Lois Lane, who has a 5-year-old child. Yeah. And she also just looks like a doll.
Yeah, and there
But
are
I
a few.
genuinely love that movie.
Oh no, I do too. Like it's a movie that, if you ask me, I have no problem listing the few things that I just think are problematic. But that movie, when I went to see it in theaters, and I was sitting in theaters in 2006, and the credits came up and started, just triumphantly playing that, and I was quite literally moved to tears. I do not cry. I'm not somebody who does, but it was so special. It meant so much. I've talked about it, I think, last week. The first teaser for that film, hearing those notes and hearing Marlon Brando's voice talk about, Kal-El and the Kent, mailbox, and just, it was special. And it celebrated the best parts of the first 2 Superman films with Christopher Reeve. So I'm looking forward to it, but we should save our thoughts for next week. I hope you guys will join us. Yes. You have any other thoughts about this movie other than to put it to bed and never think of it again?
That's it.
That's all we got. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
There's doors and corners, kid. If you don't clear the room, if you don't come in slow, that room will